During the game, if you lose your concentration, even for a moment, you'll make a terrible mistake that you would never normally do. Your mechanical abilities suddenly become poor, your reaction time slows down, and your sudden lack of intelligence undermines your ability to make intelligent decisions. It is the lack of brain power that causes these bad plays and makes us feel frustrated with ourselves. You could have easily made it, killed an enemy, or stalled around, but a loss of mental energy is enough to slow down the game and slow down the entire game. There was even something. Well, most players are aware of this issue. They understand the importance of focus and mental clarity if they want to consistently perform at their best. But focus itself is a complex subject. Once it, when I've been researching a lot lately, the answer is optimal concentration is multifaceted, but it often comes down to electrical activity in the brain. Wearing electrodes in your head while you're playing your favorite game can help you identify when you're lost your focus. And being able to measure brain activities in this way not only helps understand what concentration is at a basic level, but also modifies the brain to get more. It also helps you understand how. At a basic level, our brain is a vast and complex network of billions of neurons, and these neurons use electrical impulses to communicate with each other. In fact, millions of millions of neurons are emitting electrical signals at any given time, creating a beautiful ocean of electricity in your brain. When this happens, clusters of neurons in the brain begin to sense the activity of other clusters around them and synchronize their firing to improve communication. When this happens, synchronized impulses begin to fire in the repeating rhythm called neuron oscillations, or we commonly call them brainwaves. But not all brainwaves are created equally. In 1924, a German psychiatrist named Hans Berger invented a device called an electroencephalograph EEG device to measure and understand activity in the brain. Using this device, they discovered that there are different types of brainwaves that are separated by firing rates. The most interesting thing about measuring these brainwaves is that we were able to discover how brainwaves change according to human behavior. And generally, the higher the wave frequency and the lower the amplitude, the more alert it is. However, there are five core types of brainwaves, each associated with a different mental state. The slowest of these is the delta wave, which usually dominates during deep sleep. Slightly faster are theta waves, often associated with light sleep and sleepy daydreams. Alpha waves are next. These often occur when you are awake but relaxed. A meditator usually tries to enter this state of mind. Beta waves are even higher in frequency and lower in amplitude and seem to occur when we were actively engaged in mental activity, focused on learning, and generally alerted and focused. The smallest and fastest vibrations are gamma waves. They usually occur when something is so focused that it is deemed to important information processing or in a flow state, for example. So, different brainwaves are associated with various mental states, and when it comes to not being able to focus or perform during ranked games, it's likely comes down to an issue of undesired brainwaves. A great example is those who have ADHD. From research, it seems that people with ADHD spend more time in the theta state than usual. While these brainwaves may help relaxation, daydreaming, and even creativity, for those with ADHD, it means that they struggle to produce faster beta brainwaves, which are necessary for focus. It's likely then that individual who don't have ADHD have a similar issue on days when they just can't focus and can't shake off their brain fog. But only on the flip side, an overabundance of beta waves can cause stress and anxiety. If we're unable to snap out of this, it could mean being more prone to tilt and burnout. In other words, if we have low levels of individual brainwaves, it can prevent us from being the best players we can be, and by enhancing specific brainwaves during certain activities, it can massively improve our results. But how exactly can we change our brainwaves to get more focus and enhance performance? In 1665, Christian Huygens, a Dutch physicist and inventor of the pendulum clock, made a surprising discovery about his clock. When he placed two of his pendulum clocks close together, the oscillations eventually synchronized. If you set up a completely different swing pattern and let them swing for about a day, they'll start to move in sync, as if communicating somehow. This strange phenomenon has puzzled people for years. How can two completely separate objects be so synchronized? The answer to that question could lead to ways to control our brain. As the pendulum swings back and forth, a pulse of sound travels from clock to clock. The more asynchronous they are, the more negative feedback energy they create. As a result, one is slower and the other one is faster. Eventually, as they become more synchronized, this energy feedback becomes less and less until they finally do so. But what does this have to do with brainwaves and improved gaming performance? We may be able to have a similar effect on the brain. When the brain receives external stimuli at frequencies that mimic natural brain waves, it can influence the vibrations of our mind and actively synchronize it with external frequencies. Concentration and overall brain power may be altered as needed. The question is, how do you give your brain the optimal frequency to change your state of mind? One way to describe this frequency is sound. Music is basically acoustic waves that your brain converts sound vibrations into electrical signals. So it makes sense that we can use music of the right frequency to influence brainwaves, right? One popular music genre wants to do that, and it does so in exciting ways. What I mean is binaural beats. A YouTube search for any kind of focus or brain music will bring up a long list of beats, videos that claim to improve study, sleep, and meditation. But what's so special about binaural beats? Binaural beats are basically an auditory illusion created by feeding two different frequencies to each ear. Theoretically, if you input a frequency of 200 Hz into your left ear and a frequency of 212 Hz into your right ear, your brain will perceive the illusion of reciprocating motion. The perceived frequency of vibration is based on the net difference between each sound. In this case, it's 12 Hz, which mimics alpha brainwaves and can put you in a calm and focused state. But there is one caveat. Binaural beats follow an interesting theory and create a mesmerizing auditory illusion, but they may not be as effective as regular music. Almost all audible sounds can affect a person's brainwaves if they resemble the brain's natural rhythms, and the brain doesn't need any fancy auditory illusions. Comparing binaural beats with regular beats, we found that both are equally effective in altering brainwaves. Binaural beats are therefore effective, but not necessarily more effective than other music. When it comes to how our brainwaves are affected, one study found that another important factor besides the type of music is how much we like it. If you hear the raw binaural beats and you don't like the sound, the effect probably isn't that important. So what is the best alternative to binaural beats? Well, some research suggests that one genre of music might be quite promising for greater focus and performance. A type of music called Baroque music. Baroque is a genre of classic music composed between 1600 and 1750. Think composers like Bach. Researchers shows that instrumental Baroque music that is 50 to 80 beats per minute can enhance alpha brainwaves, leading to deep concentration and enhanced learning. In fact, in a study comparing Baroque music to no music, they verified that it did in fact increase alpha brainwaves, leading to a 19.9% improvement in a complex memory task and lead to an 18.9% increase in reaction time. Imagine that. Another interesting observation in the study was that as the task difficulty and memory load increased, Baroque music was even more effective for improving working memory and having more impact during more difficult mental tasks. Is huge for us. In esports, we need to keep track of many changing variables at once, so if a particular type of music can help us do this significantly better, we will instantly perform at a higher level. But why does this type of music work so well? It seems so useful due to the light moods, complex melodies, and low to medium tempos. With faster tempos or more emotional we may, we may increase our beta waves, which could lead to more energy but less concentration. With vocals or more simple melodies, the music might get stuck in our heads, taking up the mental space that we need for our focus. But there isn't much research on other types of music. The benefits likely apply outside of the Baroque genre, which is excellent news if you're not into classical music. The criteria for this effect is just that it needs to have low to medium tempo, no lyrics, and light emotional tunes. Other great alternatives are lo-fi hip hop, and similar types of instrumental study music. Over the past few years, these genres have become increasingly popular among students and unsurprisingly meet the criteria Baroque music highlights, including a tempo of 70 to 90 beats per minute. But as I mentioned earlier, some research suggests that musical preferences also plays a significant role. So for the greatest effect, I would recommend doing your own experimentation with different instrumental music to see which has the most significant benefit to your personality. But brain entrainment via audio is limited due to how your brain processes sound. Its effects on your brainwaves aren't as big as we would like, and quite honestly, brainwaves are quite complex. It's not as though your brain has the same frequency patterns throughout the entire thing. Different areas of your brain are more commonly associated with specific brainwaves, and the dominance of individual brainwaves within each area of the brain will lead to different effects. During an activity like engaging in a 1v1, you will have far different brainwave activity in each area of your brain than if you're studying game knowledge from a guide. And audio entrainment can target specific areas of the brain. Fortunately, other technology might help us do this, and perhaps even work synergistically with audio entrainment to enhance our learning focus and reaction time. But this is a topic we'll explore more in depth in future episodes. But for now, focus on finding the optimal music that helps you reach a higher state of calm, focus, and attention. The result may be a significant boost in your performance, helping you focus deeper, dominate clutch situations, make better decisions, and upgrade your skills faster.